Okay, so what do you get when you combine The King of the Beasts with a woman whose heart is as cold as ice, a simple piece of furniture, and four young kids trying to get away from the war? Probably one of the best children's literature novels of all time, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. So let's do this thing, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is David. If you are new here, hi, welcome. And if you have been watching my channel for a while now, welcome back. So the novel that I will be reviewing today is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. This is the first Chronicle of Narnia novel that was published by Lewis. But this isn't the first novel that I've ever read by him. Earlier this year I read The Magician's Nephew, which I believe was published last or maybe second to last in the Chronicle of Narnia books. But chronologically it is highly recommended by fans and by Lewis himself that you should read The Magician's Nephew first. Is it essential to understand The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe and everything that happens within that story and world? No. But it does help you appreciate the world of Narnia and everything that's happening as a whole a little bit better, as it explains the world of Narnia and how it was created. It explains the origin of the wardrobe and the White Witch. And yeah, so as you can imagine, after I actually read The Magician's Nephew and I extremely enjoyed that novel a lot, I was highly anticipating reading the next one, which was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. So a little bit of backstory about the book itself. The book was published on the 16th of October 1950. So it's a fairly old book, but I felt that the language wasn't at all hard or difficult to grasp, despite whether you're an adult or a child. There was also a movie based on this novel as well, which was released on the 9th of December 2005. There were several theatre adaptations based on this as well, which spanned from the years 1984 to 2012. And there was also a TV miniseries that had 6 episodes, and it ran from the 13th of November 1988 to the 18th of December of the same year. It was, and the network that released it was from the BBC. I think I watched the first episode and I really enjoyed it, so I will have to watch the rest of the episodes. I believe that they actually did miniseries for several of the other books as well, so I'll have to check that out. And now a little bit about the author, C.S. Lewis, whose full name is Clive Staples Lewis. Hopefully I've said his name right. He was born on the 29th of November 1898, and he died on the 22nd of November 1963, and he was a British author. Fun fact as well, he was best friends with J.R. Tolkien, who wrote the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit novels. And I believe that Tolkien read a little bit at the beginning of this novel and he didn't like it, and he told Lewis this, but Lewis, despite that, decided to publish it anyway. I do not know how far Tolkien read. If you do know how much exactly that Tolkien actually read, to what page or what chapter, or whether he just read chapter 1 or and that's it, just let me know how much he actually read, just so I know for my own reference. So as always, this is going to be a spoiler-free video. I'm not going to spoil anything about this novel whatsoever, just in case there are some people that may want to read this for the very first time. I know that this, as I said, this is an older story, and I feel that it's more of a well-known story. Despite whether you have read it or not, people are familiar about this story and about its characters and about the story as a whole. But I might mention small and minor plot points, but nothing that will spoil the overall story for you guys. And as always, this is going to be my own thoughts and opinions regarding this novel. So the story opens up by introducing us to our 4 main characters, called Peter, Susan, Lucy and Edmund. They are all brothers and sisters, and Peter and Susan are the more grown-up versions. They're not adults, but they're kind of on the verge of being adults. And Edmund and Lucy, I wouldn't say are more immature, but they are definitely the more childish of their brothers and sisters. It's wartime, and they are sent to live in this massive mansion in the middle of the countryside, who's occupied by this strange elderly man called the Professor. And they go off and they come to the mansion and they say, oh well, we've really landed on our feet here, it's a nice place. And they go off and they explore the different rooms. And the Professor isn't really a hermit. He doesn't keep to himself a lot, although he does try to in some parts of the book. But he's more of a grandfather figure towards the kids, and on several times he does sit down and have a chat with them. So when they're exploring the house, they come across a spare room that has got nothing in it apart from a wardrobe. And they kind of dismiss it. They say, oh, come on, there's nothing here. It's just a wardrobe, there's something really interesting. So they leave the room. But Lucy decides to investigate this wardrobe a bit more. She opens the door, walks through it, and comes into a strange world that is a massive forest, and it's covered with snow, and it's got a massive lamppost there. And she has no idea where she is, and she comes across a strange creature called Mr. Tumnus. Mr. Tumnus is a faun. For those of you who don't know what a faun is, it's basically half man, half goat. So his top half is a man, bottom half is the legs of a goat. He's carrying a stack of books with him, and he's got a scarf and a hat, and he's trying to keep warm because it's cold. And he tells Lucy rather that where she actually is the land of Narnia. And he asks her, "Are you a daughter of Eve?" And she's a bit confused by this. She doesn't know what he's on about. And he explains himself by saying, "Well, are you in fact human? Are you a girl?" And she says, "Well, of course I'm a girl." And he invites Lucy to his house, and he says, "Oh, there's always food and drink, and I'll take you back to the wardrobe I'll take you back through the wardrobe as soon as we're done." So she agrees to this, and while they have a talk and a chat, and pretty much shortly after that, Mr. Tumnus breaks down into tears and says that he's a terrible faun, and he has been he's actually been misleading Lucy, because he has actually told her that there's a witch called the White Witch who has enchanted the whole of Narnia, so it's always snow and ice covered, and it's never Christmas. Always cold, but never Christmas. And he tells her that everyone that stands up against the White Witch is instantly turned to stone. She waves a wand and she turns people to stone in her house. And he tells her that he has been employed by the White Witch to keep an eye on the world of Narnia, that if there's ever a daughter of Eve or a son of Adam that comes into Narnia, he's immediately supposed to take them straight to the White Witch's house without any hesitation or questions asked. And he says, "Well, you're so nice to me, Lucy, and I can't do this to you because you're so nice and sweet." And he says, "I can't do it. I should refuse to do this." So it takes her back to the wardrobe, and Lucy tells her brothers and sister about Narnia and their experience with all this type of stuff, and they don't believe her. They think that she's lying and she's mad. And Edmund decides to tease her by following her into the wardrobe, and he comes across Narnia, and he comes across the White Witch as well, which is on a sleigh, and she asks him, "Oh, are you a son of Adam?" And he says yes. And she actually asks him, "Look, how many of them are you?" And so he says, "I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters." And she's adamant that Edmund repeat this, and that he's sure that there's 2 sons of Adam and 2 daughters of Eve. And he said, yeah, I told you about that. And she kind of keeps him warm, and on a sleigh that's been pulled by these 2 white reindeer, and it's got a dwarf on the front of it as well that's driving the carriage or the sleigh, and she gives him Turkish delight. And it's more of an enchanted sweet or candy, and she tells him that tell your brothers and sisters to come to Narnia and take them to my house, and but don't tell them what you're doing. Just say, oh well, look, let's actually go into this strange house and see what's what, you know. So he decides to do this, and ultimately they all go to Narnia together, and they come across all these strange talking animals like foxes and badgers, and they are told that the White Witch is evil, and Edmund's kind of taken aback by this because she was so sweet to him. But he still wants to take his brothers and sister to the house of the White Witch. So he goes off by himself, and ultimately to the house, and he's imprisoned by the White Witch, and everyone, all these animals are saying about how bad the White Witch is, and that Aslan is on the move, and they say, well, who is Aslan? And they say to, because they're staying with these two badgers, or these beavers, beavers, not actually badgers, and they say, well, Aslan is this lion, and he's kind of like the leader of all the creatures and people of Narnia. Because he is the one that created Narnia, and he's because there's kind of like loads of Christian references throughout this book. It's not like, it doesn't actually ram like the Bible right down your throat, but it does have loads of Christian undertones and stories into this as well. And Aslan is more of the Jesus Christ figure. He's the one that created everything, and he's trying to look over his creation and to make sure everything is as safe as it possibly can do. He actually can be. He's aware of the White Witch, and he's trying to maybe defeat her, not in battle, but yeah. I don't really know what Aslan's plan is, to be honest. So ultimately, Peter, Susan, and Lucy go off, and they come across Aslan. And he's extremely likable, and he's not really like a cuddly thing, although he is, but he kind of isn't. He's one that he could easily like bite your face off and kill you, but he's more of a sweet, gentle creature. And the White Witch ultimately goes and takes Edmund to Aslan and his meeting of all these different creatures, and says to him, look. Edmund is a traitor, and all traitors belong to me. And he kind of has a deal with makes a deal with the witch, and he sacrifices himself so Edmund can go back to his brothers and sisters. Although this doesn't actually have the same result as the White Witch intended, as she thought that she had beaten Aslan, but unfortunately Aslan had a secret agenda. And it kind of backfired on the witch, and it just results in a battle between good and evil, Aslan versus the White Witch, and Edmund, Peter, Susan, and Lucy all have to do this battle, which they get all the weapons by Father Christmas. Yes, Father Christmas is in this book, Santa Claus himself, and he comes in the sleigh, and he gives I wouldn't say presents, but he gives weapons to the kids, like swords and bows and arrows to them as well. Although Edmund isn't there, so he gives Peter a sword, Susan a bow and arrow, and a horn, which he says that every time you blow it, no matter where you are, help will always come to you in some shape or form. And he gives Lucy not a weapon, but he gives her a vial of stuff, of this liquid, which he says that one drop will cure any illness. Yeah, that's his little cameo in the book. So it's all about like a battle between good and evil, and it's a really good thing as well. And ultimately, the reason why the White Witch wants to stop Peter and his brothers and sisters and slay them is because there is a prophecy that two sons of Adam and two daughters of Eve will come to Narnia, and they will be and they'll be the kings and queens of Narnia, and there will be its rightful rulers, and it will overthrow her. This kind of scares her, and she tries to prevent this in any way that she possibly can. There isn't really much of a character growth for the White Witch. again, if you've read The Magician's Nephew, there is kind of like a backstory on the White Witch, but it doesn't really explain about where she came from or a backstory or anything like that. Aslan has a bit of a backstory in The Magician's Nephew, as she tells you how he came to be. But he's pretty much the same character throughout the book. And the 4 kids, hardly any of them have any character arc or character development. The only one that has more character development than anyone else seems to be Edmund, because when he comes back to his brothers and sisters after being released by the White Witch, he seems to be more grown up and responsible, and also loving and caring towards his siblings. That's a really kind of sweet thing. And this is a really great book. It really is. It didn't disappoint. If you've seen the movie, then it doesn't really differ a lot from the book to the movie, although the professor isn't really as elusive in the movie. As I said, he does talk to the kids. But apart from that, it does follow the movie quite a lot. So what did I like about this story? I liked the overall world of Narnia. It's actually not like rich like Tolkien's world of Middle-earth is, but I liked the world of Narnia. It is such a great and cozy read, especially during this time of autumn, when we're leaving autumn and it's becoming winter now. And because it's all like snowy, and it makes you feel like getting a blanket and having some hot chocolate and making yourself all warm and cozy. It's nice when it has all the talking animals and dwarves in it, although it doesn't focus on dwarves a lot. They are in the background, but they're not really. It's not really explained about the dwarves in detail. They're just there, and the talking animals are really cool as well, and the kids are really cool as well. The kids are really enjoyable. But I liked Aslan a lot, and I like the White Witch and her house and her garden of statues, like all these different giants and creatures and animals and people through Narnia that have betrayed her, and she's turned them into living stone. That's really scary and creepy, but I enjoyed it. I like this story a lot. It's actually nothing. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it really is such a good story. It really is. It's a story which both adults and children can enjoy. And yeah, I really enjoyed it as a whole. So what did I dislike about this novel? To be honest, not really a lot. I could be nitpicky as hell towards this novel. I could say that I wanted the battle scene at the end to be slightly longer, but it is ultimately a children's book, and you can't really have a long battle scene at the end where people are getting cut up and killed in a children's book. So I can understand why that was shortened down, or such a short part of the book. I could say that I would have liked it if this book was a bit longer, but again, it's a children's book. It's supposed to be something that adults can read to children in bed, that it's going to be quick and not going to take up a long time to actually get through. And I don't know about children's attention spans. I don't know if that's why it's so short. I could say that the characters, that I would have liked a bit more character development from most of the kids, like Peter, Susan, and Lucy, because they stay the same from pretty much from the beginning to the end. Apart from the exception of being Edmund, in my personal opinion. But do we need that much character development in there? In this story, what were they gonna do? What was Lewis gonna do with these characters? But they're really good characters, and I cannot wait to read about them in the following Narnia books, because I know that they appear in several of the Narnia books. So I cannot wait to get into these characters more and get to actually know them a bit more. So I could excuse that. This isn't Harry Potter, where it's a long book series, and it has character development in each book, where they fall in love with each other and they go on all these massive adventures and they die and they have to fight this evil thing. Although it is, but it's not really it's not Harry Potter, it really isn't. It's nice, it's like a nice, warm, cozy read that you can read during winter time. So what do I rate The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis? I'm going to currently give it a 4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed this book. It was an immensely enjoyable read for me, and I enjoyed the overall world and the time with these characters, whether they were human or whether they were creatures from Narnia. And I'm really excited about reading the other books in this series as well. I believe the next one is called A Boy and His Horse, or something along them lines. I will put the book up here. And yeah, I'm really intrigued to find out about where this story will ultimately go. So that's it, guys. That is my review on The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. If you have enjoyed this video as a whole, please give it a massive like. Comment down below, let me know if you have read this book, if you have enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it. If you haven't read this book, tell me if I've inspired you to actually read it, if I've inspired you. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I upload videos every Monday and Friday. If you do subscribe, please click on the little bell notification just so you know whenever I upload videos. And if you're not sure whether you want to subscribe, that is perfectly fine. You can always check out my other videos on my channel. I've got loads of playlists, so you can have a little wander on my channel. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, guys. I'm just happy that you have clicked on this video and you've given me a chance, and this video a chance. It really means a lot to me, and thank you if you have recently subscribed to my channel and you're watching this video for the first time. And it really means a lot to me. And I've actually nearly got 200 subscribers, and that's insane to me. It really is. I am so grateful to everyone that subscribes to my channel, watches my channel, likes my videos, comments on my videos, whatever. I am really grateful to anyone and everyone that watches my channel and watches my videos. I really am. Thank you so much, guys. It really means a lot. And with all that said, stay safe, stay healthy, and always keep reading, and I will see you all in my next video.